Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're having a lovely day. Recently I did a video on a letter that we received from YouTube and Google about an application that I hired a couple of people to develop for the company that I currently work for. And I read their letter as well as our response a few months ago. They have since sent another one, so I thought I would read it to you along with our response, our past responses, and just give a couple of rants from my side. This is from YouTube, or Google here. It says the YouTube legal team. To whom it may concern, we recently became aware of your product or service, GreyJ, your client, which is being offered at greyj.app. It appears your client allows downloading of YouTube content. As you know, you are required to comply with the YouTube Terms of Service at all times, which are posted at youtube.com/t/terms. Compliance includes, without limitation, not accessing, modifying, selling, or otherwise using the services, including any content, in violation of the YouTube Terms of Service. We strive to keep YouTube a safe, responsible community, and to encourage respect for the rights of millions of YouTube creators. This requires compliance with the YouTube Terms of Service, YouTube API Services Terms of Service, and developer policies as applicable. If applicable, you must also delete any content, including data that you may have gathered in violation of our terms, policies, and applicable laws. Please note that defined terms used in this letter will have the meanings assigned to them in the applicable terms and policies. Please immediately correct and cease offering your client that violates our terms and policies within 7 days, in bold print that BlackBerry is not afraid of, from the date of this letter. If you are accessing or using the YouTube API services, please provide all the API project IDs for your client by responding to this letter. Sincerely, the YouTube legal team. To whom it may concern, I write on behalf of FUTO, which develops and distributes the GreyJ app. I am responding to your April 17, 2024 email to the GreyJ support email address, greyj@futo.org. The email is reproduced below. I would first refer you to our response to the YouTube legal team's similar letter of January 25, 2024. I have attached it here for ease of reference. FUTO received no reply to our response. Your latest message was also not, as I then requested, directed to this email address. It being sent elsewhere delayed this response. As we noted in that February 1st, 2024 response, FUTO respects the rights of content creators and welcomes the opportunity to cooperate with YouTube in furthering the rights and interests of creators. Then, as of now, however, FUTO has no reason to cease offering GreyJ. As with the YouTube API Services Terms of Service and developer policies, our developing this software is not controlled by the YouTube Terms of Service. I again hope this clarification ends the matter. And again, request any further correspondence to be directed to this address for the quickest turnaround in response. To go over the last response to this, which I think was not read, but probably thrown into a shredder by an intern, I write on behalf of FUTO, which operates the FUTO Tech YouTube account and distributes the GreyJ app. I'm responding to your January 25th, 2024 email. Your email alleges that GreyJ violates the YouTube API Services Terms of Service and developer policies. It claims these supposed violations undermine the rights of millions of YouTube creators and asks FUTO to cooperate with us by correcting and ceasing to offer GreyJ. FUTO respects the rights of content creators. We are content creators ourselves, as is BlackBerry. GreyJ's slogan is follow creators, not platforms. FUTO welcomes the opportunity to cooperate with YouTube in furthering the rights and interests of content creators. That said, FUTO has nothing to correct and no reason to cease offering GreyJ, which exists to help connect those same creators to their fans. FUTO never agreed to the API Terms of Service or developer policies in its development of GreyJ. As the name suggests, the API Terms of Service only apply, and I quote, when accessing or using the YouTube API services. The developer policies similarly apply, quote, when accessing or using YouTube API services in your service, product, or application. YouTube API services is defined by a bunch of mumbo-jumbo there. FUTO has not used any of these tools during its development of GreyJ. As GreyJ does not use the YouTube API services and is not subject to the API Terms of Service and developer policies, neither GreyJ end users nor FUTO can violate them. I hope this clarification ends this matter, but I'm happy to discuss the issue further if you'd like. There are several problems with this platform that I've talked about in several of my videos, and instead of just complain about these problems, what we've tried to do is actually come up with solutions for them. One of them is the fact that people get banned willy-nilly, and there is not really an even or fair enforcement of the rules. And in many cases, they don't even tell you exactly what the rules are for the type of content that you're allowed to post. The very type of content that the algorithm recommends over other content winds up being content that breaks the rules. Being a YouTube or a Twitch content creator is the closest you'll ever get to understanding what it will be like in the future to be managed by an artificial intelligence that has borderline personality disorder. When you take a look at this, or any number of other cases, these platforms have deleted people willy-nilly. willy-nilly. And if we are used to using applications that only service one platform, then the user is just going to stop viewing that content because of the friction to installing another application and installing another application, installing another application, and following everybody within 2 or 4 or 6 applications. By aggregating every platform to one application, and more importantly, giving users this harbor application that allows them to verify their identity across platforms, so you can see everybody's content within one subscription feed. So even if they get deleted from these 2 platforms, you can still see the content they posted the 3rd one in one subscription feed. We are solving this problem where creators have to worry about whether their account will be deleted willy-nilly. Whether it's these 2 creators or my good friend Eli the computer guy who had his channel deleted in the middle of a live stream for reasons that they couldn't even tell them. This is a serious issue. People have their livelihoods threatened completely when they decide to go all in on content creation, which is one of the reasons that I don't. I rely on my business. I rely on work. I rely on other things because I don't want my income to be determined by an AI that has borderline personality disorder. Second one, comment systems. To be clear, got a lot of work to do on this. Got a lot of work to do on this. How many times have you posted a comment and not seen it? A lot of you will email me and curse me out about the fact that I deleted your comment. But as I've gone over in many instances, this platform deletes my own comments on my own videos. Now, it's one thing if I cursed or included a link. I could just post something innocuous, no insults, no curse, no link. It gets deleted. It's insane. 12 years into this platform, and communication is even worse now than it was in the beginning. Now again, is this application perfect? Got a long way to go there. But we're trying to fix the problems rather than simply complain about them. Another one, and this was the moment, I'll be honest with you, this is the moment where my brain kind of exploded. And again, just to preface this, I have been a person that literally before he finished puberty was paying full price for his software. This is $80 in 2001. $80 in 2001 with inflation is probably $160 now. But when you account for the fact, like childhood inflation, like I was making money by washing bicycles and re-oiling and greasing the chain for $1. This might as well be $10,000 for a 12-year-old. So I have always paid for my content. I've paid for my software. I pay for things that I find valuable, whether using the add to cart button or a direct donation. At the same time, you cannot ignore the fact that over the past 20 years, we have been doing this thing where the more you are willing to pay for content, the shittier your experience. The more you're willing to pay for software, the more you're opening yourself up to abuse. It is similar to being in a relationship with somebody that is avoidant in attachment style or emotionally unavailable. Literally, the more that you give of yourself, the shittier you will be treated. And when you look at it, in this particular video, I have a very strange example. I'll admit, very weird example on this video, why I will never pay for YouTube Premium again. In this video, titled Why I Will Never Pay for YouTube Premium Again, I'm going over, I know, a very strange use case. I like to stream my long distance drives. If I'm driving from New Hampshire to Texas or New Hampshire to Florida, I kind of like to live stream the entire drive just so that people could watch and maybe listen to what I have on the radio as I go. And one of the things that happens if you're doing a YouTube live stream is that it's very, very buggy if you want to listen to something. So sometimes I may want to listen to an audiobook or a podcast or something I downloaded because I'm on the road. It's very buggy to use the same phone that I'm using for a live stream to also play audio content. So what I would do is I would get an old phone that doesn't have a SIM card. I would connect to Wi-Fi at home. I'd log into my YouTube account. I hit the download button. And a few days later, I would go into my car and want to listen to that. And what happened here is it would say, this downloaded content is not available. You must connect to the internet. So I literally had to drive to a rest stop, enable hotspot on my phone, connect this phone to that one so that I could play content that I downloaded. Yes, a strange use case. But something went off in my head that day. Something exploded, where I became sick and tired of accepting that the more that I give, the less I receive. Whether we are talking about Netflix, where I get lower resolution if I pay you full price for 4K than I do in pirating, whether we are talking about Sony, claiming that what you're doing is purchasing, buying, and then on the page 21 of their end user license agreement saying you don't actually own it, or whether we're talking about the inability to read a book because you have traveled from one section of the world to another. We live in a world nowadays where the more you are willing to pay, the more you are willing to give, the less you will get back in return. And whether it is in my personal life, whether it is in purchasing content or software, or my business life, I have no tolerance anymore. I'm done with this concept of the more that I give, the shittier I get. the section of this letter that says we should delete any sort of customer data that we have stored, you are welcome to view the source code of the application to see that we do not store any of our customers' data, whether you have paid for the application or whether you are simply utilizing our it's open source, so you literally have the ability to have an infinite trial, so to speak, if you do not wish to pay for the application. But we hope that people pay for the application if they find it valuable. And at the end of the day, we also hope that users donate to the content creators whose content they find valuable. I'm curious what you all think. The difference between this and NewPipe or YouTube Vanced or anything else is twofold. A, the primary problem we are looking to solve is that creators get kicked off of platforms willy-nilly when their livelihoods are at stake. And B, there's an actual budget here. Like, I could hire Quinn Emanuel for this if I wanted. This is not for kids in a college dorm room, and I don't think that Google or YouTube understand that. Spending $500,000 as a retainer to Quinn Emanuel is actually an option here. And I think that that would be a lot of fun. As I said while ending my last video, I have gotten 4 laws passed in 3 states over the past 2 years with $1 million. You want to play a game, we can play games, but I guarantee you I'm the one that's going to be having fun. We are not for kids in a college dorm room, and if you think we are, you are very, very mistaken. We are not taking down this application. We have no intentions to take down this application, and we intend to continue serving our customers with this open source application. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something, and that's not only directed at my audience this time. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.